Celsius filed Chapter 11 today. I'm going to talk about what it means, what I think it means in the future, talk about the pros, the cons, and just everything regarding this really important story. So I'm going to start out by sharing my thoughts on why this could actually be a good thing, and then I'm going to dive into some of the exact stories that are covering this, including the actual court documents. So if you want to track it as they come out, you can do so. So why is this good? Well, if you have to look at it that way, we're going to finally find out everything that has been going on. So up until today, there has been incredible amounts of speculation and just people making stuff up about what they think is going on, myself included. Now that they've entered Chapter 11, everything is going to literally be exposed. We're going to find out if Alex and the management team were selling their sell tokens while they were pumping it to us, for example. We're also going to find out whether they have a hole in their balance sheet, and if so, how much it is. We're going to find out whether this bank run was part of what really caused them to halt withdrawals, and whether they just need more time in order to unwind some of their loans. Whether time is really what they need, or again, if there is something fundamentally wrong, like a giant hole in their balance sheet, that is causing this issue. So the first story coming from CNBC, Celsius said it would look to stabilize its business by restructuring in a way, quote, that maximizes value for all stakeholders. Celsius said it has $167 million in cash on hand to support operations in the meantime. So here's a quote from Alex Mashinsky. He said, "This is the right decision for our community and the company. I'm confident that when we look back at the history of Celsius, we will see this as a defining moment where acting with resolve and confidence served the community and strengthened the future of the company." So right now, after me reading this, it's okay if you feel angry or if you think he's lying or whatever you're feeling. That's okay. We've been through a lot, and to hear this statement from Alex, which was most likely written by his lawyers, seems a little bit, covering everything with like vanilla. It seems a little bit non-sincere, especially this lack of communication that we've had for the last month. So here's a quote from Joseph Rotunda, who's the Director of Enforcement at the Texas State Securities Board. He said of Celsius, "Unfortunately, this was expected. It was anticipated. It does not, however, stop our investigations. We will continue investigating the company and working to protect its clients, even through its insolvency." So more from this story reads, the company, Celsius, has more than 100,000 creditors, which could include both customers and lending counterparties, according to the bankruptcy documents. And I'll get to those documents right here when we head over to Stretto, which you can actually follow yourself if you want to basically see everything that's going on legally. Celsius's largest unsecured claim is $81 million from Cayman Islands-based Pharos Fund, which up until right now, I had never heard of. The filing also lists billionaire FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried's trading firm Alameda Research as a creditor with a $12 million unsecured loan. And one last quote from the story from the Vermont regulator. He says, Celsius's customers did not receive critical discourses about its financial condition, investing activities, risk factors, and ability to repay its obligations to depositors and other creditors. The company's assets and investments are probably inadequate to cover its outstanding obligations. So regarding the first part of what he said, that the customers did not receive critical disclosures. Now, this is something that I agree with. And this is not me hating on Alex. This is me being involved with Celsius, listening to every single freaking AMA for the last 2 to 3 years, and me knowing what Alex and the other members of the corporate team were saying every single freaking week. Even the other employees that were on Celsius, they never, ever communicated the risk that they were taking. Now, again, as this Chapter 11 continues, we will see exactly what the issue is and what the real problems are. These questions will begin to have answers. So all the speculations will be answered soon. But I do agree that out of the years of me watching the AMAs and making a freaking recap every single week, that the potential risk of putting your money with Celsius was not freaking disclosed. And I would tell Alex and Nuke and Daniel and every single person who works at Celsius who came on the AMA, hey, you didn't tell us that this would be even a remote possibility. So you can probably tell by the tone of my voice that the lack of disclosure about the risk of putting even stablecoins onto Celsius was not properly disclosed to us. So this next story is from Business Wire, and I just want to cover this one quote here. It says, without the pause of withdrawals, the acceleration of withdrawals would have allowed certain customers, those who were first to act, to be paid in full, while leaving others behind to wait for Celsius to harvest value from illiquid or longer-term asset deployment activities before they receive a recovery. So this was the reasoning, at least at first, for why they had to pause withdrawals. Basically, they needed to say, hold on, we got to stop this. We have to unravel some of these illiquid investments, and we just need some time to get liquidity. Now, again, this could still be the case. We don't know all the facts yet, but that's what they're saying. Basically, had they not stopped withdrawals, basically first come, first serve, the people who acted quick would have gotten their crypto out, and then the remainder would have been left with nothing. So they said they had to do this to protect everybody. So there are already a series of customary motions for this Chapter 11, which you can actually research here, which I'll include the link in the description. But this story says that these first day motions include requests to pay employees and continue their benefits without disruption, for which the company expects to receive court approval. Now, when I read that they're going to continue to pay their employees and continue their benefits, my initial reaction was, screw that. I'm really focused on us who put money and have our money basically locked in Celsius. The employees' benefits and their pay honestly does not come before us getting our freaking money out. Now, I get if they still have employees on the payroll that are integral for this Chapter 11, okay, that I can understand. But it just seems weird that the first day motions, okay, we got to keep paying our employees and make sure they have continued benefits. It seems like their priorities are not in the right place, especially right here where it says Celsius is not requesting authority to allow customers to withdraw their crypto at this time. Customer claims will be addressed through the Chapter 11 process. So they're basically saying, hey, we got to pay us first and then we can let people maybe withdraw their crypto. Now that pisses me off, just to be really honest. And it is like 1 a.m. I have a migraine, so I'm a little bit pissed off today in general. But the fact that they're saying, hey, we want to take care of our own first, we need to be paid, but all the millions of people who have their funds with Celsius, they come second. Let's not focus on them now. That just pisses me off. So right here on Stretto.com, you can see everything regarding Celsius and their Chapter 11. So this is something where you can actually keep up with everything they are doing. You can click the voluntary petitions. Now, I am not a lawyer, nor am I like a paralegal, so this is all pretty new to me. But apparently they have different debtor names. They have the KeyFi, the Lending, the Mining, Celsius Network, the Lending LLC, US Holdings, and they are all filing their own petitions. But this is pretty interesting where it says describe a debtor's business. It says none of the above. So they're not saying they are a stockbroker, commodities broker, or a bank. They are basically saying, nah, we're not any of those. And CoffeeZilla actually made a video, I think today, on Voyager, and he mentioned that Voyager did the exact same thing and what that could mean and how that's not necessarily the best news for us. Basically saying that we don't get any of the protections like if a clearing bank or a commodity broker or a stockbroker filed at Chapter 11. There are some protections that we would get if they described their business in one of these other ways. And right here you can see that Cayman's Island Pharos Fund, where there is an unsecured claim to $81 million. And right here you can see lanternventures.com. So I went ahead and went there, and this is the page basically saying that they're a tech company developing systems to identify and execute on exceptional trading opportunities. This is their entire website. So I don't really know what to make of this, but apparently they're hiring. So there's that. And you can find more of these unsecured claims here on their main filing, which you can click under Celsius Network LLC. This is where you can find this document. So obviously Pharos is going to be the largest. Then they have another for $40 million, for $38 million, $24 million, 2019, 15, 15, 15, 14, 13. So a lot. And here is the Alameda Research for $12 million. So that's where we are right now with all of this. This is just beginning, and we will find out everything that happened that maybe shouldn't have happened, or the real reasons why they had to halt withdrawals. We'll figure all of this out as this plays out. And I was taking a look at companies that had successful Chapter 11 bankruptcies. So apparently Marvel filed for bankruptcy in 1996, and we know how profitable they have been, especially with all the Thor, Iron Man, Avengers, and everything like that. And in addition, Six Flags declared bankruptcy in 2009, and a year later, they reorganized and emerged from that bankruptcy. So that is something that I'm holding on to, is that again, as everything begins to come out, all the information becomes public, we will get a better sense of what happened and also what we as the community can do. Now, right now, there is nothing for us to do that I have heard or read or heard from anybody on Twitter, Simon Dixon included. Right now, we are basically waiting to see what happens. But I will definitely let you know here on YouTube if and when there's some class action suit or something like that where you need to do something proactively in order to participate. So don't worry, I will let you know if and when that happens. So that's it, guys. I will make updates obviously as this comes out more and more. I know these are very, very challenging times just because of the unknown, but this is not the worst thing that could have happened. Three Arrows Capital just basically got completely liquidated. So they went a different route. I am glad Celsius is going Chapter 11. I would have maybe wished that this could have been handled outside of the court system, but here we are. This is what's happening. And again, I am with you every step of the way. My funds are in there as well, just like yours are most likely, and I will be making videos with every important update. So guys, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.